Inside the factory, a woman was operating a heavy molding press, a machine designed to shape metal with tremendous force. In a split-second decision, she reached across to grab an item from the opposite side. At that moment, the press engaged, and the powerful plates closed. Her hand became trapped between the moving parts before anyone could react. Co-workers quickly shut down the equipment, but the incident highlighted a critical safety gap. This is why it's vital never to reach into or cross active machinery. Even small tasks must wait until proper lockout, tag-out procedures are in place, ensuring the machine is completely powered down. Remember, machines don't hesitate. The safest choice is always to stop them before you step in. Two workers stood high above the ground on a suspended platform, lifted by crane several floors up. Beside them sat a large, heavy machine, positioned close to the platform's edge. Using a metal rod, they attempted to push it into the building, moving it little by little. But the machine shifted unexpectedly. It slid off the platform and fell straight down, passing directly through the area where the workers were standing. The incident highlights a critical safety rule. Heavy machinery should never be handled on suspended platforms without proper securing, rigging, and support. Always use trained lifting professionals and mechanical guides, not manual force, when moving high-risk loads at elevation. A worker was operating a small industrial vehicle on a narrow platform, suspended high above the ground. The platform was supported by crane wires, swaying slightly with each movement. Suddenly, the wires failed. In a split second, the vehicle dropped. The incident showed how quickly things can go wrong when working at height. Never rely on suspended loads without multiple safety backups. Always inspect lifting equipment, verify weight limits, and ensure workers are secured with harnesses when operating in elevated areas. Because in high-risk zones, one weak link is enough to cause a serious incident. Inside a busy cement factory, a worker was unloading his hand trolley. Unaware of what was happening behind him, a fully loaded cement truck began reversing slowly, its sound masked by the constant industrial noise. The driver didn't see him. There were no spotters, no signals. The truck made contact, and as the load was released, the worker was caught in the material. In the noisy environment, others didn't immediately notice. The incident shows why visibility and communication are critical in high-noise zones. Always assign spotters during vehicle movement, use audible alarms, and make sure work areas are clear before dumping materials. Two workers were loading large tires onto a transport vehicle. One guided the process from the ground, while the other operated a lift stacked with tires. As the lift rose, the balance shifted. In an instant, the tires tipped and fell toward the worker standing below. The incident underscored the importance of positioning during loading operations. Always establish a clear safety zone and never stand beneath or beside raised loads, no matter how routine the task may feel. Safety isn't only about protective gear, it's also about awareness of where you stand and when. A worker was standing beside a low concrete wall, unaware that danger was approaching. Nearby, a truck that had been left unattended began rolling backward on its own. Within seconds, it made contact with the wall where the worker was standing. Co-workers quickly reacted, but the heavy vehicle barely shifted until the driver returned and moved it forward. The incident is a reminder. Never leave trucks or heavy equipment without securing the brakes. Always chock the wheels and shut off engines when parked on inclines or in loading zones. Even without a driver, a vehicle can become a serious safety risk. Inside a scrap factory, a worker was unloading metal scrap into a furnace filled with molten steel. Using his hand trolley, he moved close to the edge to dump the load. But as he tipped the trolley, he lost balance, and in a split second, his body shifted dangerously forward toward the furnace. Co-workers nearby quickly realized how close the situation had come to turning tragic. Working around molten metal is one of the highest risk tasks in industry. Always maintain physical barriers, secure footing, and use mechanical dumping systems. Never lean directly over open molten pools. Because near molten metal, safety margins are razor thin and precautions must come first. A massive tractor tire was leaning upright against a wall, towering over a child playing nearby. Curious and unaware of the risk, he tried to climb onto the tire. As he pulled himself up, the tire shifted, and in a split second, it tipped forward. The child was caught underneath until an adult rushed over and moved the heavy tire away. The incident highlights why heavy objects like tractor tires should never be left standing unsecured, especially in areas where children might play. Always store them flat and out of reach. Because when it comes to safety, prevention is the only protection. A man was repairing a vehicle, standing in front of the car with its hood open. But as he worked, the car suddenly moved forward. What began as a simple repair quickly became a serious safety incident. Never work in front of a vehicle without securing the parking brake and placing wheel chocks. Always ensure the engine is off and the gear is locked before starting any repair, because even the smallest roll can create a major hazard. While inspecting a running roller machine, a worker leaned in slightly, just enough for his hand to come into contact with the moving parts. The rollers immediately pulled him in, and his arm became caught. Nearby workers quickly activated the emergency stop and shut down the machine. The incident highlighted the serious risk of inspecting equipment while it is still running. Always power down, lock out, and wait for a complete stop before going near moving rollers or gears. At a cement factory, 2 workers stood outside a massive chamber, unaware of the buildup inside. A faint trail of smoke appeared, the only sign of what was about to happen. Moments later, a sudden release of thick cement dust and debris rushed out through the doorway, filling the area around the chamber. Clouds spread quickly, affecting nearby mixers, a tanker, and workers positioned close to the zone. Dust isn't just dirt. In large amounts, it can create serious fire and explosion risks. In high-risk environments like cement plants, ventilation checks, dust control systems, and emergency response drills are essential safety measures, because sometimes the smallest warning signs matter most. Inside a loading area, trucks were moving in and out while materials were being transferred. Nearby, a worker was cleaning the ground where some material had spilled. Everything appeared normal and routine until one of the loaded trucks began reversing into the same area. The worker was directly in its path and came into contact with the vehicle. The incident shows why strict safety measures are vital during loading operations. Always assign spotters when trucks are reversing, ensure clear visibility, and keep work zones separated between moving vehicles and ground staff. In busy areas like this, even routine tasks demand full attention to safety.